Why did you want to ask something to me if I don't speak English?
You do.
No.
It's
no
good,
hablo.
it's good.
No, yo no hablo.
Why
Yo
did
no
it fail,
hablo-
Manny?
Yo no hablo inglés. ¿Por qué me preguntas a mí cosas que no sé?
What's going on, everybody? I've been trying to start stuff for the past 3 years with other young entrepreneurs around Chicago and would take them as far as we could before either the team disbanded or the product kind of crashed and burned. And so, if you're like a lot of people that have been asking, what is it that you've actually worked on? You film these videos and tend to sound like you think you know what you're talking about, and to be honest with you, everything I've worked on hasn't scaled successfully. I've never actually created a successful startup that's turned into a company that you'd call successful in the general sense. And so today, I'm gonna talk all about the last startup I worked on, Reconnect, exactly why it failed, and how you can learn from everything I fucked up on. What exactly was Reconnect? We thought, what if there was a system we could build where you could connect with other creatives in your area based on the projects that you want to start. Maybe you were trying to work on a startup. You could find other people also trying to build a startup in your area. Or if you were trying to launch that mixtape, you could find other producers in your area. You see what I'm saying? So for the literal reason that the app failed, we had a big catch-22 chicken and egg problem, you see. For the app itself to have any value, you needed a lot of people already on it. You were connecting with other people in your area, so you needed people to be in your area. Every time we got a couple people onboarded, they would just trickle out because they had nobody in their area to connect with. We got stuck in this spiral of never being able to retain enough users at one time on the app. The only way we would have been able to fix that is if we got the app blown up with a centralized group of people that are interacting with each other on a day-to-day basis. We could have done that maybe at like a university, and we never really managed to do that. We had 7 people working on it, eventually disbanded. I'm gonna be talking to all 7 people that I worked on Reconnect with over the course of 9 straight months. Some of them that I worked on Reconnect longer with, and some of them that got into our team when we joined the incubator. But whether I'm calling them or talking to them in person, we're gonna get all of their opinion on why the startup failed and what we could have done to make it work, if at all.
What's up?
How are you, bro?
Good, ow.
Why do you think we weren't ever able to get Reconnect within the right group of people so that it never blew up?
The main reason why I think Reconnect failed was because we kept redesigning the new version before we even got the older versions to any users. We didn't have enough customer feedback to build upon the newer version. We just kept building new versions without any feedback.
What's up, Mirza?
Oh, fuck. What are you doing?
Tell me, why did Reconnect fail?
So I think there are 4 reasons why Reconnect didn't work out. 1, Gabe Tavas. 2, Gabe Tavas. Number 3, Gabe Enrique Tavas. Number 4, Gabe Enrique Tavas III. Jokes aside, guys, but the reason why I think Reconnect didn't work out was because, 1, we basically came up with this big problem that really didn't exist in the market. Sure, it was a very small problem of finding startup founders, and that could have been solved by just networking in a local meetup. Number 2 was we had an amazing team, but there were too many people. We would have like debates and arguments over like what colors to use. Very tedious shit that didn't really need that much time to focus on. So yeah, it was hard for us to figure out, are we really solving the problem? Honestly, it really goes back to the guy I was talking about, the Gabe, the legend. It really goes back to, I can't.
Right now it's just about 9:45. We got the first call with Akil.
Hey, Matthew.
What's up, Akil? How have you been?
What's up, dude? Nah, I'm good. How about you?
I just need to ask you one question. Why did Reconnect fail, Akil? Give me the honest feedback here.
Honest? Okay, so Reconnect was one of the larger teams, right? And we were all very innovative, obviously. A lot of the times what happened, we kind of branch off into 2 ideas. Like maybe 4 or 5 of us would agree with one idea, and 3 of us were hesitant and we wanted to do something else. So I sincerely believe like if we split up right then, executed our own ideas, we probably would have been successful because all 5 of us or all 3 of us believed in that one idea. The problem was when you had 8 people all disagreeing with each other and having different ideas, we like held each other back, like we hindered each other's growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the whole team wasn't committed to one thing.
Exactly.
Because we were
It's
constantly,
really hard.
our motivation was constantly splitting.
Exactly. And I think that was because our group was too big.
Interesting, very interesting. All right, Akil, that was basically it. You can get
Wait, really?
Yeah.
It's like gonna be like 10, 20 minutes.
No, bro, that's why I told you to not stress this. This just about 11:40 when Zane told me that he was free for me to call him.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Trying again. Zane! I got just one question for you. Why did Reconnect fail?
Number one thing, we're at this thing called Catapult, and Catapult itself had its expiration date. The shit just literally ended, and I think that was kind of jarring for me. Other than that, I think that we all had different visions. I always had hope that it would kind of come back together until when you were like, I think I'm gonna go try to get some work as a product manager, and I was like, damn, like, I don't see this working without Matt. A lot of like different types of power dynamics going on, and regardless of how hard we tried to like treat everyone as equal, but there's always like clearly one person who has to ultimately make the decision, especially with a startup like we had. The person that we had in that place wasn't like a natural leader, and he was kind of forcing himself in that place, and we weren't comfortable having him in that place. And it was also hella weird because I live in Texas and all you guys live in Chicago.
Right, yeah.
But,
And Farouk's ass all the way in Dubai. Alright, Zane, that was basically it. Thanks for talking to me.
Sweet, man.
I gotta wake up in 5 hours so I can talk to Farouk, who's just getting out of school in Dubai. And let's get it.
5 hours later. Gotta call Farouk.
Wait, pause here for a second. What ended up happening was kind of funny. I just gotta explain this. So I wake up and I message Farouk, right? I ask him if he's about to get out of school, and he basically tells me, nah, just kidding, I cannot talk to you right now. So just fast forward a couple hours later, I had to find a way to step out of class so I could talk to Farouk. A couple hours have passed and I'm in school now. This is school. Farouk's finally ready. We're about to call this man. Farouk is calling. Okay, Farouk, tell me. I got one question for you.
What's up?
Why did Reconnect fail?
I guess number one is we weren't together enough, I don't think. It's different when it's Google Hangouts.
Together at first it worked out a little bit, but then because we were working remotely, it just did not.
I also think there was excessive pivoting. Yeah, I think we didn't stick to one thing. I felt that we were all over the place. And anytime we pivoted, we had to think of a whole new batch of ideas. I think we were trying to aim too large, too big. We weren't very specific about what we were doing. And I felt each time we pivoted, we took a step into a direction that we weren't aiming in the first place. Kind of like a maze. It was confusing. We didn't get to where we wanted to be by the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Say less. Alright, thanks for talking, Farouk.
Gabe,
Can we do it upstairs?
I have one question for you.
Wait, can we do it upstairs?
Why did Reconnect fail?
Well, I mean, if I were to put it in one way, I mean, you know, at first we were like very enthusiastic about Reconnect, but we were also like struggling a lot with, I'd say, like finding a large enough customer segment. We were always very vague on who our customer was. It just kept going back and forth, and that lack of clarity at times also made it difficult for us to get customers after a while. I mean, we did manage to sign up like a decent number of people, you know, with like 50 people, and you know, it became sort of one of those things where it's like really cool to check out the first few times, but it doesn't bring you back. I mean, so I'll be honest, like, I love the Catapult program in general, but like sometimes having like so many meetings over the summer, like constantly just going at it, even when we didn't necessarily have to meet up, it kind of worked at the team's morale a bit, or the whole idea of having to meet constantly during boardroom meetings, during regular meetings, during advisory meetings. You know, having that many meetings just constantly and no breathing room for the students. I think after a while it wears down on even the most enthusiastic team. We got so caught up in trying to beat the competition at Catapult that we weren't thinking about how can we really just provide something of value. Playing the game of demo day, but we were not playing the game of making a big impact in the world, which we should have been doing.
There you have it. That is everybody from the entire Reconnect team that have let us know why Reconnect failed. I hope you got some good startup advice from this, some good knowledge, and some understanding of what can go wrong and how you don't have to fuck up. All right, signing out. Yes, yes.